Welcome back, everyone. We are live on Facebook, so hi to everybody out there. Like us and follow us. We're going to share the show. My next guest has been on with me several times. I have with me Monty Flack, and he is with Factum Financial. You know, tell everybody a little bit about yourself and what you do, because this is also very interesting, but it also kind of correlates, you know, you said, with people that might be even buying, selling businesses. But really more so for you, I want you to explain to everybody what becoming is the biggest word for you, which we're going to talk about that too.
Well, thank you for having me. What we do is we teach a concept called the infinite banking concept, and it's using dividend-paying whole life insurance to create a financial system. Because if you look at today's world, you know, inflation's going up. That's a hidden tax, right? Things are costing more, and people are having more month than they have money. And then on top of that, they're transferring money away from them to, you know, the car dealerships, the banks, and everything for their lifestyles. Well, what we do is we help them create this system using a life insurance policy to keep more of their money. Because life isn't really about how much money you make, it's about how much money you keep. And then on top of that, because it is life insurance, I am protecting my family. Because I have a question for you. What percentage of the population will graduate from this earth?
Everybody?
Everybody. So all we're doing is planning. We're being very intentional with our life. And so when we get into Factum, all it means, it's Latin for a statement of facts, truths. And that's what we're doing, is teaching the truths about money and how money works within the system. Because when you start looking at it, who has all the money? And I guarantee you, they are doing something differently than the average American.
Now, you had asked me to kind of go over a couple of different things, which was one, why Factum? That's number one. Let's tell everybody why.
Well, we believe, especially in our society today, we see it on the news and everything, that our country lacks leadership. And what happens is we need leaders within our family first. We need to lead our own life and be very intentional with that. And that way we can lead our family, to lead our communities and so forth, and to go out and live our maximum potential. Because we believe we were created by God to do certain things, to live a better life than what we've been living. Because if you look at the whole system, when everybody else is getting our money, are we even worried about our dreams anymore? We're just trying to survive, you know, living paycheck to paycheck or whatever the case may be. So one of the big things, one of the foundations that we talk about at Factum Financial is the 5 areas of life. Because we must have a vision. When we were kids, we would dream, I'm going to be a fireman, I'm going to be this, a cowboy, and we would have these visions of how life was going to, you know, come out for us. And then we hit the world and we start working, and it's like, oh my gosh, I'm too tired to do that. I don't have enough money to do that. I haven't done this or that, or lived my life intentionally. I'm living my life by default, by someone else's design. So what we talk about is vision in 5 areas. Our spiritual vision. Once again, we believe we were created by God to live a better life. Then our personal. What is it, the things that I, Monty, want to accomplish? You know, what am I passionate about? I love playing the guitar. You know, for quite a while I was practicing Krav Maga. Those are my personal visions of these things I want to accomplish in life. And then it gets even bigger, because I can't just focus on myself, right? So my family vision. What is my family vision? It's to travel, right? To do these things with my family and bring the family together, because when everybody's working, family doesn't get together anymore. And I remember when I was a kid, we would always go to my grandmother's house. My mom and all her brothers, sisters always went to my grandmother's house, and that was the family unit. Once my grandmother passed, you could see things starting to separate. So going back to the leadership, Factum's about leadership. And then, you know, what is our occupation? What is it that we want to achieve in our occupation, in our business? The lady before us was talking about businesses. You know, what is that vision we want? And then finance, because we must have the financing to be able to do all these other things, to have life in abundance in all these other circles or areas of life. But with that, we must be intentional, live life by design, because we do not drift to a desired location.
So, okay, I want to give out your information, okay?
Sure.
And I mean, the approach is pretty interesting because it's living life intentionally.
Yes.
But we're not just talking about living your life intentionally by just thinking about what your intentions are for that moment to moment to moment. It's really more about your life, your family life, your spiritual life, what are you looking to do to help your family survive, and not just to survive, but to live and be happy and do all the things you wanted to do, which you said you feel that we were born to do those things, right?
Right.
Okay. And so but it's really more now, down to the money and how you do that. Okay. I got to talk about the money part of it because that's what it's all about. And if you're okay with jumping there for a minute, because, now you've got these 5 pillars, which is what you just talked about, these 5 basics, right? Okay. Now what do we do? Because what you teach is something that really has been around for a very, 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 very long time. And that the banks are really kind of doing already, and that we should all really be doing this ourselves. Go ahead.
Right. So what we talk about is, if I'm going to create abundance, especially financially, and keep more of that money, I must have a foundation. So if I'm going to go build a shed in the backyard, I could throw a couple 2x4s, some blocks there, and build this little tiny shed. But if I'm going to build a house, I need a foundation. I think it's 4 to 6 inches. If I'm going to go 2-story, it's going to even be bigger. If I'm going to build a skyscraper, I have to have a solid foundation that can weather any storm. So let's take a look at what we're building our foundation on. Is it on rock or is it sand? So it makes a big difference. So when we first start talking about finances, we must understand that the basics is financial education. Do we have the financial literacy? Do we understand, cash flow? Do we understand assets and liabilities? These types of things, and then we look at our financial awareness. We must know where we stand today in order to get us to that destination intentionally, right? And then what is our saving strategy? I remember when I was a kid and I wanted something, I had to work and save up to go do these things.
That was a long time ago.
It was a while back. So let's talk about that for a moment here. If we're going to build this foundation of money, keeping more of our money or wealth, if you want to call it that, what is our saving strategy? Because if you look from the year 2000 to present date, the savings rate in America is very low. So I'm going to ask you a question. How much, if you've read any financial books or even just what you might have heard, how much money should an average person save per paycheck?
10%.
10%. Do you know what the average American is saving? And let's go back to the beginning of this year, January of this year. Do you know what the savings rate was here in the United States?
I'm going to say, I'm sorry, I know this is going to sound silly, by 0, because nobody right now can save anything because of the economy and where it's at.
You're pretty close.
Is it negative?
No. That'd be, It's been close. It's actually 3% right now. So when you look at that, if any disaster or any tragedy, any cost, people don't have the finances to do anything. And that's why we live paycheck to paycheck. We're not living intentionally. So one of the biggest things we talk about is let's change that, because even in the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, one of my favorite books, it says, a portion of all you earn is yours to keep.
Well, we're going to go to a break. When we come back, we're going to talk further. And one of the things that you wanted to do to offer for people is a cash flow analysis. And what I want to do is I'm going to open up the lines to the audience for people to call in for it. And we're going to talk about what that is when we get back. One thing I could go on forever and talking about all of this is so interesting. But listen up, everybody, because this is pretty cool. The number here to call in for a cash flow analysis is 602-277-5369.
Do you need to liquidate a home? You need someone that you can trust. With Loving Care, estate liquidators are here to help. When you hire them, they take care of everything, and all your troubles go away. Call for a free quote at 623-606-1966. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. See what our clients say about us. Go to withlovingcareestateliquidators.az.com. You'll know you've called the right place. 623-606-1966. 1966.
When does it get easier? I hear that all the time from business owners and leaders that just aren't getting the same results from their hard work they used to. I'm Ken Kilday, and I work with business owners and leaders to unlock their leadership genius. Start today with a breakthrough strategy session and start making the cut. Call or text 602-820-6978 or online at makingthecut.biz. That's 602-820-6978 or online at makingthecut.biz.
KFNX Cave Creek.
Hi, I'm Randy Courtney, broker, owner of Weichert Realtors, Courtney Valley. White. Served in the Valley for over 37 years. We handle all your residential needs. If you're thinking about making a move, call me for an expert broker price opinion. Find out what to do to your home to maximize its value. You'll be surprised at what you'll learn and well worth the time with me. I will tell you what most agents will not. Call me today at 480-705-9600. At Courtney Valley White Properties, we handle your real estate needs, big or small. We handle them all.
Do you have a parent, grandparent, or loved one who needs some extra help? Senior Helpers has spent 16 years helping seniors continue to live at home as they age. Do you have a loved one needing help with grocery shopping, meal preparation, or even help taking a shower? Call Senior Helpers today at 480-621-6672. We specialize in helping seniors with Alzheimer's and dementia, Parkinson's disease, and other chronic illnesses to stay at home. You can find us online at seniorhelpers.com or at 480-621-6672.
What if I told you that getting Medicare coverage doesn't have to be a complicated process? Are you tired of being confused with the many coverage options available to you with Medicare? At Tapestry Insurance Group, let us help by taking the confusion and complication out of your Medicare options so you can get the coverage you need. Some available plans have no additional premium and may help lower your out-of-pocket costs. There's never a cost for a consultation with one of our licensed agents, so don't delay. Contact us at 602-541-7656 or visit tapestryinsurancegroup.com.
Are you tired of dealing with incontinence? Do frequent trips to the bathroom keep you up at night? Sudden urges when you laugh, cough, or sneeze? VJuve's non-invasive treatments for men and women are covered by insurance, Medicare, and FDA approved, making them accessible to everyone. Say goodbye to discomfort and embarrassment, and hello to a happier, healthier you. With several locations throughout the Valley, there's one nearby. Why wait any longer? Schedule your complimentary treatment today at stopthep.com or call 480-593-5400. Let VJuve make you a better you.
If I traded it all.
So welcome back, everyone. We're going to open up the lines to the audience for everyone. We're talking money right now, but we're talking about your life and how you can live intentionally with your money, okay, about having some there so you're not living paycheck to paycheck. And one of the things that Monty has said that he likes to do for everybody is a cash flow analysis. Tell them how you do that and what you offer.
Well, typically when somebody wants to work with us, we send them a cash flow analysis, and it allows them to input, what assets they have, what liabilities they have, and then we can show them by, discussing a certain amount of premium into a life insurance policy designed for banking, not for death benefit, but for banking, and how we can use the cash value within that life insurance policy to recapture that third-party debt and redirect it back into to a system that they own and control, where they have total control of that.
Well, what you like to do is have a consultation with everybody.
Yes.
That's the first thing. And this is something that you said has been around for well over 200 years. More?
No, gosh, even before that. But even if we go back to 200 years, we'll just use that number. Things started changing in 1913 because two entities came into play simultaneously, and that was the IRS and the Federal Reserve. And things started changing. So, during the break, we were talking about why don't more people know about this and why are they afraid of it? Well, if you look at the programming or just the propaganda that's been out there since then, it's 401ks, it's this and that, or buy term and invest the difference, all these other scenarios. But big banks are the largest purchasers of life insurance. Banks are the most profitable business in the world. Well, where do they keep their profits? Where do they save their profits? It's not with other banks. It happens to be in life insurance. Corporations, where do they keep their profits? Life insurance, the wealthy elite. So all we're doing is mimicking what they do at the you and I level. I don't have the billions of dollars that, the big banks have. We call them the four amigos. I don't have that kind of money, because when you look at that acronym is called BOLI, Bank-Owned Life Insurance, BOLI, and they have billions of dollars in cash value. That means they can access that money whenever they want. So all we're trying to do is help people create the same little system at the you and I level, wherever they're at financially. But it comes back to that saving strategy. We have to be able to save some money. And the thing is, all we're doing is adding one component to what people are doing. Let's change the environment people are saving. Most people are saving it at a commercial bank that's paying 0.01% if they're lucky. Well, we're going to take that and put it into a life insurance policy where we get a higher return on our savings. Mm-hmm. And because of the design, it allows me so many things. Once I put $1 in there, it's going to work for me for the rest of my life till I graduate this earth. We call that constant compounding, because we'll get to that in a second. It gives me the liquidity, and this is why banks love it. If I need access to money, I have access to it. Guarantees. Would you like some certainty in your financial future? In your future, right? That your family's taken care of, and these. Life insurance gives me those guarantees. It's guaranteed to compound. It's guaranteed, for my death benefit to continually grow. I'm guaranteed my premium cost. Whereas in term insurance, that's not guaranteed, or other types of insurance. Flexible loan provisions. I can access that money, and it's unstructured. What does that mean? I don't have to depend on somebody else to create the terms, the interest rate, things like that when I pay it back. Because it's life insurance, I can create all that. Privacy. Except for me sharing this today, people don't know I have life insurance. It's 100% private. So I have access to this liquidity within my policies.
Makes sense.
That I can do all these things. So like the lady on before us, they're talking about buying and things like that. Well, how many opportunities have you had to do an investment, but you didn't have access to cash? Because of the policy and where I save, where I choose to save, I have access to cash to make those investments. Passive income. She was talking about income down the road and staying on as a percentage of the owner when they sell. Why do they do that? For passive income. My life insurance policy, because of the constant compounding and the years of compounding, creates passive income. And it's very quiet. I don't have tenants to deal with. I don't have toilets to fix, this, paint, anything. It's just I put my money in there, and
it just does magic on its own.
It just does the work. And the tax-free transfer of wealth. One day I will graduate from this earth, and everything within my life insurance policies, I have multiple, all that would be transferred to my beneficiary, my wife and my family members, and it's all tax-free.
So this is something that you've been passionate about for a very long time.
Yes.
And you've been trying to teach it out there to people. And, listen up, folks. This is something that it's worth to have the consultation because you have to understand it. And you have to sit and talk, right? And to get it. When you speak here, it makes a lot of sense. But everybody... I think the best thing to do is to sit down and find out where you're at. What are your goals, right? What are your, you started off with talking about the people's lives, and what are your, not only your goals, or what are your beliefs, right? All of that's really, do you have leadership? You talk about all that first and foremost, right?
Right.
And then it comes down to this. Now, he likes to give everybody, this is a cash flow analysis. You can call me at 602-277-5369, or toll free, it's 1-866-536-1100. You can also call Monty. He does do free consultations. You talk about this is your passion. You want to teach it to everybody, and that's why you like to come on here to be able to talk about it here. And his phone number is 928-241-0668. And then, of course, his website is Factum Financial factumfinancialoct.com. And I think the best thing to do is, get connected with him, right?
Yes.
And this is something that is obviously not, you just talk about it and they get it. It's something that you really have to sit down and talk to them about. But one of the biggest things that we said in the beginning was the word becoming. And we want to get to that and why that word becoming is so important to you and all of this that we're talking about.
Well, great. Everything we do came from this book.
I'll show it.
Becoming Your Own Banker. And the key word in there is becoming. Who do you need to become to be the banker? Because the function of banking is in everything we do. Everything. Try to think of an industry that does not use banking. But who owns that banking function? And if banks are the most profitable business, wouldn't you like to keep some of that profit for your own family that you're transferring away right now, right?
But do you have a bank account?
I do own a bank account, but I don't keep the majority of my money there. I store my money in life insurance. Big difference. Right?
And it makes sense too, because when you put your money in a bank,
right.
First of all, it used to be that you got a return, you made some money on it, but now that doesn't happen at all,
No.
right?
Right.
So some people, when you meet them, do people keep money in their bed or what, like they used to, or what's going on with that people out there?
It's very interesting. The majority of people try to keep their money in their qualified plans, because they've been told for many, many years, you need to give to your, retirement plan, right? But that's not savings. If you really break down the definition, and the very first component of what we teach on that foundation is financial education. So we must know the difference between savings, investing, and speculating. So when we look at our foundation, we're talking about a triangle, and we have a good solid base. But a lot of people, when they have the concept switched, they take that triangle and invert it. Remember I asked, are you building on rock or are you building on sand? If the market goes down and I'm building on sand, my whole economy can crash. But if I have that solid foundation, I can weather any storm. And that's what we do.
And when you have life insurance and you're putting your money in life insurance, which is guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
So it's guaranteed. And so becoming your own banker.
Yes.
This is something that has been around forever. And the banks are doing it, and they're the most profitable businesses.
Mm-hmm.
So what you're saying is what you're trying to do is teach people how to do what banks do on our level, on the minority. That's the wrong word,
Right.
but you know what I'm talking about.
At the you and me level.
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
And so the word becoming.
The average Joe.
The average Joe, right? Becoming. Who do you need to become? And it goes back to the 5 areas of life, right? Spiritual, personal, family, finance, and occupation business. Who do I need to become to be able to do that? And when you look at the infinite banking concept, which this is called, it's 3 components. First of all, it's mindset. How am I thinking? Am I thinking like a consumer? Oh, as a consumer, I'm using someone else's money and transferring all that money away from me. I have to go to work and transfer that principal and interest away. Or am I thinking like an owner where I can keep more of that money?
Becoming your own banker.
Yes.
That's what he's been teaching, and he's very passionate about it. He's also offering for everyone that calls me a cash flow analysis. The phone number to call me is 602-277-5369. Have the consultation with Monty. You've been doing this for a long time now.
14 years, yes.
14 years, and teaching the infinite banking process. Again, that phone number to call him direct, it's 928-241-0668. It's factumfinancial.com.
These times I drew a really